But this right here cannot happen. It can't. I can't. I mean, I don't give a fuck how much science fiction this is or fantasy. This is a big fuck you to the people out there. Some people say the happiest place on earth is at dtmerch.com, where you can go over there and get your shirts, getting your what are that, beanies? We got the backpacks, phone covers, we got the gift of choice, and of course we got the artist of the month, which is our very own Will Valley. You're gonna want to subscribe, and you know what? We make it very easy for you in so many ways. Some people recommend pulling out that Amazon account, using the Amazon Pay button. Putting your username, your password in there, pressing send. Ooh, shit. With all these Jurassic Park movies, Martin, they get bigger and bigger. The dinosaurs get crazy and meaner and more cunning. And somehow the movies get dumber. Every time. I don't know how this happens. This is really a reflection of this country, or maybe the world. We've seen a movie that is a masterpiece. And somehow they managed to just fuck that up with every film. But that happens with a lot of things. It does, and yet it makes more money. And you know what? And that's the thing. A lot of people, they just want dinosaurs. And people even talking about, hey, you know what, Corey? You need to just shut up right now. Because if I recall, in Jurassic Park, or Jurassic World, rather, you said, man, just sit back and have fun. Everybody just want to see dinosaurs anyway. Mm-hmm. Damn, man. What happened to y'all? Can't y'all just enjoy a dinosaur? Please? That's all we asking for. Stop getting hung up in the logic and the plot. They brought back dinosaurs. That's the first dumb thing. From there on, anything can happen. You got dinosaurs fighting each other and then fist bumping at the end. Yeah, high five it. Good job. Y'all know that shit. The stretcher got dumb, man. When that shit got into the WWE at the end of Jurassic World. Oh, and here comes Blue. Oh, my God. Oh, he's got him in the camel clutch. Yeah. Blue came out with a chair. Oh, no. You see what's happening. Everybody's going into it, and they're like, oh, man, I can't wait to see this. I know how this is going to go down. I'm going to look at Martin. Martin's going to be like, this is dumb, whatever. But my man Corey, though, he knows how to enjoy a good dinosaur. That's why I got my money. You do, because you found a way to actually enjoy the last one. I did. I was shallow. I was like, man, I just love looking at dinosaurs. Y'all could just put a dinosaur on the screen just dancing. Put that shit in the loop. I'll be like, oh, my God, this is amazing. So let's go. Now we got Jurassic World, the Fallen Kingdom. And with this, kind of makes no sense, but okay. How many times that kingdom done fell? When did it become a kingdom? We went from a park to a kingdom. That's a shitty kingdom right there. As you can see, we're getting some good dinosaur action right here. But at the same time, is this the last time we're going to get it? Because that volcano done woke up. They said, hey, them dinosaurs ain't the only thing you resurrected. In fact, that volcano got tired of this dumb shit. Exactly. Like, you know, all y'all get off my island. God damn it. Off my property. Yeah, get off my lawn. Okay, it's not as stupid. The volcano was dormant, but all of a sudden just started bubbling up, and now the dinosaurs are in danger of going extinct again. But then Universal said, man, we can't let that happen. We got more money to make with this. Right. Yeah. What's going on? These sequels ain't going extinct. And so somebody said, we got to go to that island and get their scaly asses off of there and take them to a safe place. Of course, nothing ever goes as planned. Well, because you have people with sinister motivations. Always that. Always that. As they say, ever since the first movie, the motto is, fucked up shit will always find a way. Yeah. It ain't life. No, not life. Life is fine. Most of the time, it's the exact opposite. Let's go ahead and take a look at a little more of the trailer for this, and then we will come back with our review. Rapist ass dinosaur. It's like he read Little Red Riding Hood. Yeah, yeah, man, she is. Like I'm looking right there. Damn, Grandma, what big ass teeth you got. And your breath is fucking. Grandma be eating ass. I believe that they were listening to some of the things that fans.
I saw a lot of places where they course corrected things that were wrong.
Oh yeah. I mean, this whole thing about the park itself.
Yeah, done with the park. The park makes no goddamn sense.
None. They finally
said, hey, we're not having a park here.
They said, if you don't believe us, watch this goddamn volcano. Just wipe this out. Mm-hmm. They said that idea, the park, is the dumbest thing that they've ever done. That park, for a zoo that holds the most dangerous animals in the world, that's the most ragged ass park I've ever seen. Every 2 weeks, there's a dinosaur jailbreak.
and I love how they early in the film, they let you know, they spent $800 million paying off survivors from the last park.
Oh, some of these dinosaurs got jobs, so they can pay that off.
Exactly.
No, they made sure, look, the park is destroyed. Ain't nobody got money to bring it back. Everybody's broke.
Yeah.
These animals are wild. They're about to get and you know what? And Jeff Goldblum, man, I'm gonna tell you something. A lot of people are complaining about how little he is in the film. I'm just gonna let you know he is a cameo, but he came in and said enough. He's like, let those motherfuckers die.
That's right. Yeah, because there's a big debate going on as to whether we should save the dinosaurs from that island that's about to blow up and put them somewhere safe, or just let them go. And he comes in to testify before Congress and just says, listen, we shouldn't have made them in the first place. He's like, let them die.
Yeah. He's like, this is not an accident. This is Mother Nature trying to correct.
It's so funny how he steps in early in the film and just delivers just the most sober truth possible.
Yeah.
And somehow the rest of the film didn't pay attention to him.
They just looked at poor Jeff Goldblum and said, yeah, anyway. You still here, man? Shit, we gonna make this money. You can go home.
Congress listens to him and says, yeah, fuck the dinosaurs. But then you got Bryce Dallas Howard and her crack team of environmentalists and dinosaur savers. Not save the whales, but save the dinosaurs.
Save the dinosaurs.
Who say, no, this can't be. We must do something. We can't have children grow up in a world without dinosaurs. Like, what, you mean like the rest of the entire human race has?
Yeah, you mean like we've been doing for years?
I mean, she is the epitome of that rich white lady who has nothing to do, so she's dedicated to saving animals.
Yeah.
More so than humans.
And also, I understand she's got like a guilt complex, but it's a very flawed guilt complex.
Yes,
Go save a panda or something. You let these dinosaurs go, man.
Yeah. Hey, can we save the animals that don't eat us? Because I'm pretty sure there's some of those that are in danger too.
Yeah. A lion, look, I eat meat, but I ain't gonna become a serial killer. I'm not gonna wipe out a whole town. One velociraptor, like a lion, because a lion is like, man, I'm gonna eat what I need to eat.
Right.
A velociraptor, like, I need to kill all you motherfuckers in here. They are finally doing something where they're not just completely repeating themselves.
You bringing that up, like not doing a park and not repeating themselves. I actually really, really appreciated that.
No,
I was sitting there watching it, going like, "Thank you."
Yeah, because looking at this, they oh shit, shut up, Blue. They introduced some new ideas up in here, and a lot of people have been saying that this is what you need to do, is that you need to introduce some new things, some new concepts. These, I'm not trying to make a joke. A lot of people have been making this joke, but they say no. I've always said this with things like the reason why aliens work is because they evolved the creature in the story. Mm-hmm. They gave us a more, gave us a glimpse of what their lifestyle is like, and yet they actually elaborated on it more than what we saw before. There's still mystery here with these dinosaurs, believe it or not, but because that's what people are saying. People are saying, listen, and that's what I admire about this movie. It's like you're repeating the same thing with these films in a certain way, and you're never, ever, ever, ever gonna top Jurassic Park, the first one.
Right.
The first one is just something where that was a once in a lifetime thing almost, man.
You wouldn't have thought so when you saw it, but after 4 or 5 more movies,
Yeah,
you realize,
no.
like, yeah.
Nah, man. You know, the first Jurassic Park is it's a miracle movie, man. It's a miracle movie because, you know, it truly is something that we've never seen before. No one has seen special effects that realistic. And it's going to be a long time before we see that again. The miracle of this movie is that Spielberg, you know, that's where he showed his true genius with this. The man was able to make, a science fiction film. He was able to make a movie with a lot of humor. He was able to make a family film.
Yeah.
And yet he got away with making a horror movie too.
Yeah, true.
You know, this thing actually, kids were dying to see it, and it scared the shit out of them. And it's that, and you're never going to see that balance. Well, I'm not going to say you're never going to see, but that's
never.
But you haven't seen that balance in any of these movies ever since. Even what's his name? James Cameron said, I remember I was fighting to take Jurassic Park from Spielberg, and he said, nah, Spielberg was the right one to do it, because if you had given it to me, I was gonna scare the shit out these kids.
Right.
He says mine would have been nasty, much nasty.
Sure.
He said
course.
mine would have been aliens with dinosaurs.
Right.
So, you know, even Spielberg can't top himself with that, man. You know, when The Lost World came out,
Yeah.
that's the silliest ass movie I've ever seen.
Yeah.
That movie's ridiculous, man. But my problem with this is that they flirt with new ideas, but they never really push it enough, at least for me.
Are we talking about the new movie now?
The new movie, yeah.
They don't develop them.
What they do is they introduce these ideas and you get excited, and then after a while, it goes back to what all these other movies do, just chasing people.
Well, it's almost like if you get the Jurassic Park license, there's some fine print, some riders that go along with it.
Yeah.
And part of it is, okay, you got to kill a black guy in the opening.
Yeah.
You have to have a big fight in some structure that has dinosaur skeletons all around it.
Yep.
And a velociraptor has to come in and save the day when things look their darkest.
Oh yeah, yeah. And they just have to. It's just people running from dinosaurs.
Right, people running from dinosaurs. And they always got to run from a big dinosaur that can't fit in a little space. And you're free to repeat that ad nauseum.
And they do that all the time.
You can have a whole movie full of that if you want to.
Every Jurassic Park got some dinosaur. Too dumb to know he can't fit into that little space. You got a dinosaur chasing a mouse. Them teeth come down that little hole. That's what I'm talking about. For a movie that teases that we're not going to repeat what was done before, they repeat what was done before. And you know something? I can kind of take that. I can kind of take that a little bit. This one comes in and it tries to lean on horror a little bit more.
It's a horror director, right?
It's a horror director. It's the guy that directed The Orphanage. J.A. Boyena directed The Orphanage. If you haven't seen it, it's a very creepy film. And you can even see the guy bringing in elements of that, like the spooky architecture of the house.
Sure.
Into this movie. And you know what? With them making it more of a horror movie, okay, that's a step in a different direction.
Yeah,
you know,
sure. You went from Alien to Aliens.
Exactly.
Went from a horror movie to an action horror.
To an action movie. So with this one, we're going from like maybe an action sci-fi to leaning towards horror a little bit more. And I mean, and they that's one of the things that's funny about it, because they make sure that you know that all these dudes are bad. So these dinosaurs got plenty to munch on.
Yeah,
You know?
they got carte blanche to eat these soldiers in the most gruesome way possible.
Oh yes, it's gonna sound nasty, but it's an asshole buffet.
Yeah.
These dinosaurs, they make sure don't feel bad for these people. They got it coming. So it's not as terrifying as it could be, because all the people that are good, they're going to find that little hole to run into.
Yeah. Or somehow the dinosaur just can't quite reach them.
Yeah. Dinosaur just gets stupid.
Ooh, I want to bite you, but my contract says I can't.
And the dinosaurs, boy, they are slick, they are smooth, they are fast, they are
smart.
cunning, they smart. When they come after bad guys, they like that. When they coming after good guys, they like, shit, fuck. Come on, come here! Shit! I get you, bitch! They always slip it. It's like he's clumsy.
When it's bad guys, they pulling Roadrunner tricks on them.
There are a few scenes where they The action is good. It's only pulled back because for the things that we're saying. Those tropes of the dinosaur movie where they walk into little small crevices, little holes and whatnot, snapping after people, that's there. And sometimes for a movie, they spend all that money on these dinosaurs because that CG looks like shit. That's CG. I'm sorry, that CG lava. They spent all that money on those dinosaurs. That CG lava looks like shit.
Over for the lava. You know, it's always funny to me when people are like close to lava and just barely escaping. Because I'm like, you couldn't even be that close to a volcano. The heat is too much. The fumes are toxic. You would
actually you would combust.
Your lungs would explode because you couldn't breathe that air.
Yeah. And so while the some of the action scenes are clever, some of those things that we've seen again over and over again are marred by that. Also, it doesn't help that we just have characters that we don't care about. Some of these characters are downright annoying. That old Negro Max Spooks right there.
Now, I didn't mind that because I was like, you know what? It's about time they had somebody who is terrified of this shit as a person should be.
Yes. Well, that's terrified, and then there's just too terrified.
But they don't give him enough to do. Plus, you go, wait, for him to be this terrified, why is he even there at all?
Yeah. He couldn't even get on the plane.
Yeah. Even from the plane, he's like, I don't know. I don't think I want to do this.
Yeah. He's like.
Did anybody tell you we're going to a volcano?
He was scared of everything. Everywhere he's going, his shit. I mean, before he even saw a dinosaur, he's like, is that a plane? I can't get on that. I'm scared of planes. I'm like, come on, man.
It's one of those things where I was like, I'm only forgiving this because it's like I said, it's about time they had somebody who was terrified by all this stuff, as someone would be, and they never are in movies. Yet within a movie, you don't want to see that because it drags it down. Yeah. And he's a type, like him and the other scientists. They're types because they don't develop them enough.
What's his name? Justice Smith. Yeah. He plays this little nerdy scientist type, and he's just there to scream for comedic effect. I guess that's why I didn't like it, because you're right. You are right. It's like, okay, people should be naturally scared of this horrific and extraordinary situation, but he is scared just for comedic effect. So I don't feel scared for him because I know every time he screams, the audience is going to giggle. They're going to laugh. Yeah. No one was ever scared for him.
Right. I mean, in the mechanics of the movie, it doesn't work. It's weird because I was more annoyed with the characters in the first movie.
Were you?
Yes. With Bryce Dallas Howard's character.
Oh, you're talking about Jurassic World.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Sorry. Yeah. Jurassic World, where she was kind of one, maybe two note, and Chris Pratt's character was not even borderline, just straight up sexist. But he's charming. He's handsome. So everybody just let him get away with it. Because he was constantly ripping on her, and most of it was just like, well, yeah, but you're a dumb girl, though.
And that's another thing, man. We should really like Chris Pratt, and we like Chris Pratt, the actor, but we see that he's not really a character in this movie. No. He's auditioning for Indiana Jones this whole time.
Pretty much, yeah.
Even more than he was in the last one.
Yeah, you're right. It's like I only didn't get annoyed by the characters because they weren't very in depth. There wasn't enough there.
No, they're doing what they're just doing what they're supposed to do.
Yeah.
But the
one thing I did like was where one of the villains, when they're confronting him, and he was like, this all as much your fault as it is mine.
You know what?
And I was like, okay, now this is interesting. Nobody has ever done this.
There is a really great moment of dialogue. Like the movie almost stopped and said, all right, we know these humans ain't shit. Let's give them one time to like put on a high school play.
Yeah.
and they have this really, and it's actually the best writing in the movie.
Yeah.
Where the philosophy about who's wrong here for why these dinosaurs in the predicament that they're in and why the humans in the predicament that they're in, they both have points, man.
Oh, yeah.
They're like, no, this is your fault. No, this is your fault. It's like, no, all y'all fucked up.
Right.
The movie wants you to see clear black and white. These are villains. These are heroes. But for a moment, there was that slight shade of gray. And I was like, wow, now this is deep. I like this. And this director, I like that he's actually chosen for this because of his ability to do horror. As I said, The Orphanage is a really good horror movie, and he does bring some very good horror elements to the movie. However, when he's doing that, I think that that's another thing that, again, it becomes, when they bring in the horror, of course, that brings in more running from more stalking dinosaurs.
Lots of running.
Yeah, a lot of running. You know something, and I'm saying that this director is good at the horror thing, but it's look, the director's doing the best that he can. The script by Colin Trevorrow and somebody else.
Yeah, Trevorrow, who did the last one.
Who directed the last movie, I think, co-wrote that.
And your favorite movie, The Book
of Henry. Book of Henry could have used a dinosaur, and nobody would have asked any questions. All right, Mom, there's going to be a dinosaur showing up at your door. Don't worry about it. He's with me. The script, it's not that good. And I'll tell you why in a little bit, more reasons why it's not. But I like the way, it's almost like the studio and the script, they're like, okay, you're going to come in here and you're going to do what you do as far as a director, and we're going to put you in your element. But you're going to be Spielberg for just a little while. Mm-hmm. It's funny how they force a Spielberg moment in here, because if you notice, there's a lot of Spielberg movies where somebody going to stop and start reminiscing and start telling a story very quietly, and then they're going to have that person off camera playing that piano one key at a time.
Uh-huh.
Ding, ding, ding. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And that the movie tries to do that, and it feels, it's not that it's a bad scene, it just feels forced.
First time you see them, it's like a miracle. You read about them in books,
Yeah, I'm not listening to this shit.
Yeah, those guys are going to come back and kill us. I don't know why you're talking about this right now.
Yeah, you telling stories. I'm trying to think of a way to escape right now. You're like, huh? Yeah, dinosaurs. Yeah, they're everywhere. Whatever.
One big problem with this movie is that it's really super uneven.
Yes.
There's little pinches of it that are different from the other movies, and that's good. And pinches of it that are actually really good, and pinches of it that are stupid.
Yeah.
And pinches of it that are just dull. Like even the pacing is so off.
Yeah.
Because like stuff will be happening and it's exciting. Like when the island's blowing up and they're running and two of them hop in that bubble, that was like a roller coaster ride. And I was actually like, this is genuinely exciting and breathtaking.
Yeah. I gotta tell you, I really enjoyed the first part of the movie.
Yeah,
I don't know if it's the first half, but
not the full half, but just parts in the first act.
All that stuff on the island, that stuff is thrilling, man. All that stuff look, everything on that island captures, when I talk about that emotion that Spielberg was able to get, this doesn't really come close to that. I mean, it doesn't do it, but this is the closest that it comes to. When I tell you about humor, horror, this being an action movie, this, when they're on the island, it does that. It has moments of action. It does have moments of horror in it, and it's actually kind of heartbreaking too. Mm-hmm. I mean, there's a shot in here, I'm going to tell you, the whole audience was like, oh, and you feel really heartbroken, man. Like, no. Oh, y'all gotta go. Even
your big CG ass gotta go.
I ain't doing nothing. I don't give a fuck. I don't know if a lot of people are talking about this. I'm gonna tell you something. I can take a dinosaur movie. I can watch dinosaurs run, fight, eat each other, eat people, have sex. I can watch all these dinosaurs do all this stuff for a long time and be satisfied with it. But this is the moment that it broke me.
Well, yeah, the second act it gets dull, and the third act it goes full retard. Yeah. They just start throwing in everything, and some of it is some good concepts that you don't do midway through the third act.
No,
they start throwing in new characters and new major plot twists and subplots. I'm like, how much shit is going to happen all near what should be the last part of this movie?
Yeah. And you know what? I could probably even let that slide, but that's when they brought in the corporate villains.
Yes.
Now,
it turned into a James Bond movie.
Yeah,
at one point.
the evil corporate villains. I can handle evil corporate villains, but they're the stupid evil. They talk about their nefarious evil plans while the door is wide open. Everybody can come in. Their lair, door is wide open. Not just the lair doors wide open, but they got the laptop flipped with all the plans on there. They got all the vials and the potions.
You can see all the money that's changing hands.
It was almost like the villain, with
their Swiss bank accounts right there listed.
Yeah, the villain The villain's so proud of himself that he wants people to hear his shit.
Right.
He wants people to catch it. They got one villain in there. I ain't gonna spoil it for you, but there's a moment where anybody with common sense knows not to unlock a cage with the most dangerous dinosaur in the world.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Oh, but I will.
I know. I love how the moment he did that, the whole audience went, "Oh no!"
There was a guy sitting next to me. He looked at me. He didn't even know me. Like, what the fuck, man? Not me. Not Sinister Max. Stupid. I'm gonna walk right in here. Badass dude. There's an actor out there that I love, and the guy is underrated anyway. But Toby Jones, man. Toby Jones.
I know.
Just generic villain number 5.
Toby Jones is a great actor who often has to take these kind of shit secondary villain roles.
Yeah. Yeah, this guy's amazing. Go look at him when he played Alfred Hitchcock and he played Truman Capote.
Yeah.
Guy's an amazing actor. And here, I'm serious. They might as well just put his ass in a tin can and label that shit with a white label, villain number 5. And he's small enough, you can put him in a can. It amazes me how this movie, when the corporate villains came in, is when they had no shame about getting dumber.
It just morphed into a completely different. It was already kind of B movie-ish, but it's like they just took like a theater's worth of B movies, grindhouse movies, and just threw them together in one in a blender and said, "We're gonna take some of you. We're gonna take a piece of this. We're gonna take a piece of this." I'm like, how many different things you gonna have in just the third act of this movie? Granted, the movie is too goddamn long. It's nearly 2 hours, and there's no point for that. But even some of it, I was like, all right, this concept here, had you introduced it way like 30 minutes ago and worked it, we could have had something.
Yeah, there's good stuff here, man. But when that corporate part comes in, it's almost like they let these guys come in and just ruin anything they had.
Yeah.
It is so bad. It has turned into the Three Stooges of dinosaur movies, of Jurassic World. I'm not lying. It got to the point where the corporate villains were ruining the movie so much that it was almost like the movie stopped caring and the dinosaurs became cartoons.
Yeah.
There's a moment, I'm not lying, one dinosaur hits his head and looks at the camera and says, and we are not exaggerating.
No, not at all. It does. Everything except little stars and birds tweeting around his head. That's all it was missing. All right, y'all ain't gonna listen to us. You'll go see. You'll see. I was still kind of like, all right, this is completely goofy, but I'm sort of enjoying it on some level.
Yeah, that's good.
Then came the actual ending. And that ending was the biggest, what the fuck? I'm not lying. I was sitting through the ending thinking, this is a dream sequence. Because it's so absurd. And then it just cuts to the credits. And I looked around, everybody sitting around me, we were all looking at each other like,
no.
Wait, did I just see that right? Is this what I think it is?
Jurassic Park has gone to some crazy ass levels, but this right here cannot happen. It can't. I can't. I mean, I don't give a fuck how much science fiction this is, or fantasy. This is a big fuck you to the people out there. It cannot happen.
I mean, it's like you were getting out going like, well, it ended kind of, it's kind of pretty silly toward the end, but hey, man, it's dinosaurs. What you gonna do? Wait, what? No. Oh my God.
Wow. I ain't never seen a movie like have so many like great jump starts and then just trip and fall.
I know.
Hey. No, you don't. No, I don't give a fuck if Jurassic Park is in your title. You don't get away with that.
Jurassic
You do
World.
not. Jurassic whatever. Jurassic bullshit. You don't do that.
And the way the last line is delivered too.
It's like, man, look, we into the second movie. We know this. It's like you just now waiting to do this. Somebody who said dragons. Monkey Daddy said, did dragons show up? This is how absurd this ending is. If dragons had shown up, that would make more sense.
The thing is, my answer to your question is almost.
It's too bad because, for them leaning on a more horror feeling in this movie, at least near the end of it, it's a very atmospheric movie. I think it has more atmosphere than a lot of the other films, besides probably the first one, and little bits of the other ones. But this one is really taking on its own identity with the horror thing.
And that's the thing. I as I sat watching, I was like, I think this might be my second favorite out of all these. I just don't really care for much of them past the first one.
I wish I could say that. And that's
but the more stuff happened in the third one, I was like, well, okay, maybe. I mean, the third act, it's like, well, maybe I got to downgrade it. And then we got to the ending, and I was like, all right, you just bumped yourself off the ballot. Never mind.
This is it's not that it's not enjoyable. The dinosaur stuff in here, as usual, it is fun, but the movie is too reliant on dinosaurs to the point this time where it just got too stupid.
Sure.
They pretty much really did say, you know what, dinosaurs just go do what you do. Go eat people, go beat the shit out of each other.
We'll right
people.
around you.
Yeah. And for this, it's a rental, man. I wish, man. I would say this. It's not the one that I think is the worst, but it's the one that really it just frustrated me the most.
For kids, this is up there because it gives them the dinosaurs and everything they want to see, and probably an ending that they'll love. Man, this movie it drops down so low. It's one of those where I got to do the math on it, where it's some of it is matinee and some of it is some old bullshit, and it just kind of work. You draw the line and carry the one, and it works out to be a rental.
You know what? And I'm laughing so hard because it is like that. This movie goes so many directions.
Yeah.
That the one was like, this is a full price. Oh, wait a minute, no, this is a man. Oh, okay, now y'all some bullshit. Okay.
The next movie is going to be very different from where they leave it.
It has to be. That's the best thing about that ending.
Is that they whoever has the next whoever they pass this on to cannot copy what's been done before. It's impossible.
Oh, yeah, no, there's no way. They made sure that volcano said, "You ain't coming back here."
Yeah,
take your shit and go. Nah, people.
It felt like a 70s sci-fi movie.
Yeah. You will never get past that first Jurassic Park. That is still the one right there, man. That's the one that still gives me chills. That scene right there, that shot is one of my favorite shots in movie history right there. I went to go see this movie over and over again just for that. I get tingles every time. I have yet to get tingles like that.
I got giggles.
I got shits and giggles. Bullshits and giggles.